At 4:12 hours, under a sky so dark it seemed unfinished, the nuclear submarine World for Two slipped beneath the Atlantic surface on what was officially described as a routine strategic transfer. That phrase would later become one of the greatest lies ever typed into a military logbook. No farewell ceremony. No journalists. No families waving from the pier. The crew boarded in silence, their names already missing from public records before the hatch was sealed. Commander Elias Hargreaves stood in the control room as the ballast tanks filled. He had commanded submarines before, but never one wrapped in this level of secrecy. Orders had arrived in a black envelope, hand-delivered and signed. He was not allowed to discuss the mission, even with his executive officer. The destination was encoded. The payload was unnamed. The reason for silence was never explained. Only one sentence lingered in his mind: this mission must not exist. As the submarine descended, sonar operators reported nothing but open water. No vessels. No whales. Just emptiness. The kind that presses against the hull and reminds every man aboard that steel is thin and the ocean is patient. Below deck, Lieutenant Samuel Kerr adjusted his radiation monitor for the third time. It was already registering anomalies, small, irregular spikes that should not have been present during a standard patrol. He logged them anyway, knowing full well no one might ever read his notes. By dawn, World for Two was gone from every tracking system on Earth. Naval Command waited 6 hours before initiating a silent alert. 12 before classified recovery protocols began. 48 before the mission was officially erased. Families were told nothing. Records were sealed. Maps were altered. And in a locked room beneath the Pentagon, a single folder was stamped with a designation, so restricted it would not be spoken aloud again. Somewhere beneath thousands of meters of water, the submarine continued its descent, carrying not just a crew, but a truth powerful enough to terrify the world. And then nothing. No distress call. No debris. No radiation plume. Just silence. The men aboard World for Two slowly realized something was wrong. Not catastrophically wrong, but wrong enough to be unsettling. Navigation coordinates updated themselves without manual input. Encrypted orders appeared on secure terminals without authentication keys. The submarine's course bent toward a region of the ocean marked on no civilian or military chart. Commander Hargreaves confronted his communications officer, but the man could only shake his head. "This isn't coming from command," he said. "It's internal." At 1,200 meters, pressure alarms chirped softly, like insects trapped behind glass. Reactor output fluctuated despite stable input. Lieutenant Kerr confirmed what he feared. The payload, whatever it was interacting with the submarine's systems. Then came the second envelope. It emerged from a sealed compartment that no crew member remembered opening. Inside was a single page. Proceed to Site Econol. Initiate Phase 2. No abort authorization exists. The crew gathered in the mess hall that night, speaking in half phrases. Fear didn't arrive all at once. It seeped in through routine. Through the realization that every safeguard had already been bypassed by someone, somewhere, who would never be named. When sonar finally detected something below them, it wasn't terrain. It was a structure. Massive. Angular. Artificial. Hargreaves ordered a slow approach. Floodlights cut through the black, revealing metal far older than any known undersea installation. Symbols etched into its surface did not match any language on record. The structure pulsed faintly, responding to the submarine's reactor, like a living thing sensing blood. Then the structure responded. A surge rippled through World for Two. Lights died. Emergency systems kicked in. And deep within the hull, the classified payload activated. The last entry in the submarine's log was written by Lieutenant Kerr. "We were never meant to return. We were meant to disappear with it." When World for Two failed to surface, the Navy did not panic. It calculated. Analysts ran models. Admirals met behind closed doors. Intelligence agencies cross-checked satellite data and found nothing. No explosion, no heat signature, no sign of failure. Which made the loss worse. A destroyed submarine leaves evidence. A vanished one leaves questions. So the questions were buried. The mission designation was removed from archives. Crew names were quietly reassigned to desk postings and false records. Widows received letters citing classified training accidents. Journalists who asked too many questions lost access. One reporter lost his career overnight. In a secure underground facility, scientists reviewed data transmitted automatically during the final minutes. Energy readings defied known physics. The structure beneath the ocean, Site Econol, did not appear to be human-built. The conclusion terrified them. If the submarine had made contact with something older, something powerful, then the greatest danger was not losing World for Two. It was someone else finding it. So a decision was made that would shape the next 75 years of history. The ocean would keep the secret. Search grids were falsified. Coordinates altered. International treaties quietly amended. Even rival powers agreed. Some truths were too dangerous to surface. And beneath the Atlantic, World for Two rested in darkness. Waiting. 75 years later, the ocean finally betrayed them. The research vessel Aquila was mapping tectonic drift when its sensors detected a radiation signature impossible for natural geology. Dr. Lena Morozova stared at the screen, heart pounding. "This is nuclear," she whispered. "And it's old." The coordinates matched no known wreck. When the ROV descended, its cameras revealed a submarine, intact, massive, and marked with a designation that did not officially exist. Time had scarred it, but not destroyed it, as if something had preserved it. Inside the wreck, they found the crew, seated, secured, frozen in the final seconds of duty. Logs recovered from the reactor chamber told the truth governments had hidden. Of Site Econol, of the structure, of the choice to sacrifice a crew to protect the world from knowledge it wasn't ready to carry. And if you're gripping this moment with me, standing on the edge of a secret buried for generations, make sure to hit subscribe, because what comes next is even darker. As the final data upload completed, an alarm sounded aboard Aquila. Something beneath the wreck was waking up. Classified documents released years later confirmed the impossible. World for Two had not been a weapons platform. It had been a lock. Site Econol was an ancient energy source, one capable of destabilizing nuclear reactions worldwide. The mission's purpose was containment. The submarine's reactor was calibrated to suppress the structure permanently. By dying there, the crew saved the future. No medals were issued. No monuments raised. Their sacrifice reshaped deterrence theory, altered Cold War strategy, and prevented an arms race escalation that would have ended civilization. History moved forward, ignorant but alive. Families learned the truth decades too late. Grief reopened. Pride followed. Commander Hargreaves' final message was broadcast publicly at last. "If you are hearing this, then the world survived us. That is enough." Memorials were built, names carved into stone. But the ocean kept the structure sealed. Some secrets, even now, remain buried. The wreck was left where it lay. Governments agreed, unanimously, for the first time in history. Site Econol remains untouched. Because the greatest danger was never the submarine. It was what it guarded. And the ocean still remembers.